being a county chamber has been to reach out beyond the city of Anderson to try to touch the other communities and help highlight some of the remarkable events and projects that have been happening within the county. We then reached out to the various elected officials of each community to invite them or to have them nominate someone to appear before us to give us a broad view of what to expect in their area in 2019. All the cities and towns in Madison County were invited, and we thank those today who accepted and are here with us.
There's a lot of things that we're excited about, and yeah, I could spend a lot of time talking about up and coming events and things that we're focused on and trying to get accomplished, obviously for the county, for not only this year, but for years to follow. One thing that I know is going to impact everybody in this room that I'm pleased to see happening is the growth of residential development. Obviously, you couldn't get any lower than 2007, 2006. You know, it was the bottom. We've seen a gradual increase in single-family dwellings since. Just for an example, last year alone, in 2017, we had 48 new permits for single-family dwellings. In 2018, that jumped up to 64. And the foundation work that was set forth by countless amount of builders that we've been fortunate to have in our community, going from Scott Campbell, Ron Holliday, Hallmark Homes, Mustin Builders, 2020 Design. Those are folks that are local that have done a great job in keeping with the character of what we would like to see in our county and our cities and townships. With that said, we do have a new group coming in, and it's catching eyes, and we knew this 20 years ago this was going to happen. Yes, it's happening. It's all moving our direction from Indianapolis, from Fishers and Noblesville, and it's coming over here. We're getting a lot of people who are coming in and getting new homes that are from Hamilton County, from Hancock County, from Marion County. And that's exciting, but we've also got to prepare ourselves and brace for it because it's happening. Lennar is the largest builder in the country. They have started development out on 900 West and State Road 13 in the unincorporated part of the county. They're going to be laying out 415 homes. The good thing is the average price of these homes are going to be $300,000. So we're getting a different quality of home that we would see from a tract builder in the past, which is exciting in itself. With that, we know that those folks are going to impact Elwood, Frankton, Lapel, Alexandria, Chesterfield, Anderson, obviously Pendleton. But these things are moving this direction on 69, and it's continuing to go north, and it will continue to do so. And we feel very confident that we've got the right people in place politically, and I shouldn't use that word, but and also the people that are in the communities that are making things happen every day, you know, to welcome these new residents and also be able to provide them the services that they're going to need. So not only Lennar, but we're also in discussion with a group right now as well in the unincorporated area of the county that is proposing to do a senior living facility that's going to be pretty interesting to see if it comes through and goes. Right now they're in the stage of the agreement purchasing the ground and working with the planning department, Executive Director Brad Newman from Madison County Planning. And, you know, so there's going to be a little bit more diverse building as we go along. Don't want to eat up all this time, so I'm going to jump down and hit something else that's pretty dear to my heart. Most of these people in here I recognize, and I know you've been a part or you've at least attended the meetings, but the comprehensive plan that that right now the Madison County Council of Governments is leading, that's an important integral part of what we are and what we're going to become in the future. So if everyone in here could at least tell folks that you know the importance of trying to attend these meetings so that they can voice their pro or anti of what they'd like to see or what they don't like now currently in our county, because that's a part of what we're going to become. When this is all said and done, that's the basis and foundation of our future of Madison County. So that's a very important part, and we're very pleased that the staff over there at Madison County Council of Governments is running that. And that actually, we're looking at wrapping that up if not in December, January at the latest of next year. And those meetings are on their website, and they're plastering them up all over buildings within the communities. So with that said, I want to finish up here by mentioning the group effort, but we are pleased to announce too, and you probably have read this, that Bridge 502, which is known as Eisenhower Bridge or 8th Street Bridge, will be open by July 4th. All lanes. Yeah, so that's big stuff. We're also doing a lot of studies on additional bridges and trying to get the infrastructure to where it needs to be. We know that there's been some areas that have just, due to finances and some other things, that are out of our hand, but are being worked on to get that accomplished and get those bridges and streets in a condition that needs to be done. And I would be in trouble by my HR person and the sheriff if I didn't mention that this year our employees contributed 6% higher to the United Way, and we're on goal to hit 9% next year from the Madison County employees. So we're pretty pleased with that.
We're probably one of the smallest bedroom communities in Madison County, so that's why a lot of people don't hear a lot about us. But we love our little town. We love the camaraderie that we have with everyone. And they were making comments at the table that they have relatives in Middletown and people don't seem to want to leave Middletown to shop anywhere or go anywhere else. Well, that's kind of the way they are in Frankton. They love Frankton. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody watches out for everybody, and they kind of stay there. So, and I was introduced, I moved to Frankton, and I'm telling things here, in '65. And I raised my girls there. They went to the high school. Later, after my girls were out of school, I became Clerk-Treasurer. I was Clerk-Treasurer for 24 years. So I have a little bit of a history of a small town financial. And then I am now on the council because I've retired. And I'm retiring after this year. I figured 30 years is about good enough. I actually took a real estate course my first 4 years in office because I thought, you're not going to be reelected. You have to go for this every 4 years. But I ended up being there for 24 years. So you do get a very sound idea of how the town is growing. We've had our bumps. We had a big bump when I came in. We had to improve our sewage plant. And as everyone knows, a small town, even if they get grants, they go in for doing their infrastructure. It's a huge responsibility, a large cost. People have to have their rates doubled, tripled in our case. They do not like that, but to grow, it's a necessity that everyone knows you have to do. Now that the cities and towns are growing again, we are now going for another sewage grant. 30 years, you just get your things paid off, you know how it is, and then you have to go again. But to keep things updated properly and to be good with IDEM, which you know they keep a real close tab on you, you have to do this about every 30 years to stay really up with everything. After we like to have this done by the end of the year because we are having people in wanting to build left and right. And it's very difficult if you don't have all your basics in order. So we would like to go next year for water because, as you know, we don't have a problem with our water, but an aging infrastructure, as you all know, causes more havoc than anything. And the lines are old and they continue to break. They have to be replaced. That's an expensive venture. And we have water losses, as I'm sure everyone does. And you want to find those because you're charging your residents the cost of your treating your water when you're losing it. So these are the types of things, like I said, as soon as you get debt-free, you have to go back in again because you want to provide the best things for your city or your town. And I'm sure you know with the bridge and roads how expensive that can be. We are so blessed, I believe, and I'm sure you guys will all agree with me, that the federal has done these road grants because we have the second year now been able to gain a lot of progress on our paving because of this. We're starting our other round Monday, as a matter of fact. So small towns can't afford to do these without help. So I really think that any way we can thank the government, and you don't thank the government for a lot of things, but we want to make sure and thank them for the attention that they've let the small cities and towns have in improving their infrastructure, their roads. These are, these saves lives. So being able to widen some of your narrow little town roads and to get good bases on them is very important. And with the kind of weather we're having now, that's super important. So we have a lot of new industry in Frankton, or not industry, but we have a lot of new things going on. We lost our old ice cream shop that everybody loved. We have a new one. And if anyone wants information on it, I brought a few pamphlets with me. So it's called The Scoops, and it's by Matt Ratstetter and Jeremy Parker are the owners. And it's just opened last week or a couple weeks ago, and they're going hot and heavy already. We have a couple workshops that have come in, and one of them teaches furniture painting and sign painting, and that's right across from the American Legion on Washington Street. We also have one on 500, not far from about 5 blocks from the four-way stop at 128 and 500, and it's going to be called the Metal Cottage. And she is bringing in local artists to have workshops with people in town. Last week she had someone from New Mexico who showed Southwestern jewelry. She makes jewelry. And she had people from Kansas, Canada, and different other places. And so I think this is going to be a nice addition for the ladies who like to have other things to do. And I think that's probably why people stay in Frankton a lot. We have a general market, a general store. We have a Rickers, which is going to be a get-go, I understand. And we have a Madison County Library with Jamie Scott and I'm trying to think of the other lady's name just a moment because I want to make sure that it's a very nice library. And so I'm sure that they have the Wowbrary like Alec and Elwood. So there's a lot of things to do there. And so let's see, I'm trying to think. It's Debbie Fox, I'm sorry. Debbie Fox is in the office most of the time at the library. So if you want to connect with anybody there, there's a lot of people that visit that. The town hall is directly across the street from the library, where the old Frankton Building and Loan used to be located, and the police department is now located where the town hall used to be. So everything's in the middle area. You don't have to go far. And we still do have, even though the banks have moved out of town, we still do have a cash machine. And that's in the same blocks. So you can go to the bank, go to the town hall, pay your utilities, go to the library to use your computers or to get some computer courses, and visit the police station if you need, all in the same 2-block radius. And a dentist is moving into our old Anderson Bank. So we have, like I said, that's why a lot of people stay in town. We have everything you need as a necessity, but we're only 15 minutes or 20 minutes to a half an hour to Indianapolis from Muncie, Anderson, Elwood. So you have a lot of places you can go and shop or visit friends without having to go far. So we'd like to have you stop by Frankton if you're in that area. We pride ourselves in trying to keep things up. We've had the new Main Street update. They have curbings on our high areas for wheelchair participants because we had several of them using the road. It took us about 12 years to get Main Street done, but you know how those things are. You just have to stay on the wheel until you accomplish what you came there for. So we're trying very hard to make sure that everything is very amiable, peaceful, and also that you can get whatever requirements, your daily needs that you have to have. So please visit Frankton, and we'll be glad to have you stop in.
The good folks in Edgewood could not be here today, and so they asked me to share a couple of things with you. The town of Edgewood has been granted a community crossing matching grant as well to mill and pave many of the streets in the town. The bid was awarded for just close to $300,000 with a matching grant of 75%. The town of Edgewood also received from the state revolving funds nearly $1.5 million to be used for sewer lining, lift station repairs, upgraded lift station meters, and there's a final project for the manhole repairs, somewhere around $60,000. And so they have recently imposed a drainage fee of $2 per customer to help with some other drainage issues. So we appreciate the town of Edgewood submitting that report, and like to see them back for the next time.
I would just like to thank the Chamber for having us all here today. I'm usually on the other side of this. I was a secretary of a mayor, so I went to quite a few chamber lunches and stuff, but I'm usually just sitting there. So this is my first chance. Okay, just give you a few changes that's going on in Lapel at this time. Last year we were lucky enough to get a brewery in town. One of our old buildings was restored. It's called the Pax Verum, and they have homemade items, food trucks and stuff. They're open from Tuesday to Sunday. They have live entertainment. They have trivia night. They do holidays and celebrations. So if you like brewed beer, I guess that's the place to go. They do have wine, so if you're not a beer drinker, you could always go there too. We have a new Mexican restaurant that's opened on Main Street, which is called the El Demaro, and they serve authentic Mexican food, and they have live entertainment on Thursday. And they also have outdoor seating in the summertime. We got a grant from the DNR a few years ago when we built a new park for softball and baseball that's going to be opening soon. So that's really good because our girls don't have a place to play. We have Mr. D'Angelo is a entrepreneur of sorts. He has restored the laundromat on Main Street. He's revived the car wash that's there, and he's also setting up a dog wash park. I guess you got to take him somewhere. He is also in the process of completing a 30-unit apartment housing area. He's had some open houses, and from what I hear from him, he has a pretty good list of people who are already looking forward to maybe moving into those apartments. We have Tony Stewart, not the famous Tony Stewart, has opened a tinting business that used to be a building on Main Street. So we're trying to revitalize our downtown. We're trying to get a lot of businesses in there and opening up some stuff and changing some of that around. In 2014, the town of Lapel annexed approximately 5,700 acres of land south of Lapel. It's on State Road 13 down to 700, which is almost to Interstate 69. We are looking, it's the only exit that's really undeveloped at this time between Fishers and Muncie. So we're really excited about getting that done. We have installed gas lines, a new gas line, hoping to bring in some industrial and commercial area down there for that. Last year, 2 years ago, one of our longtime residents, Olivia Cascadden, passed away, and she bestows to the town of Lapel and the Lapel school system a trust that every other year the school gets the money from her inheritance, and then the next year the school gets it. This last year we were awarded $315,000 from Mrs. Cascadden. And that is to be used any way that the town board feels can beautify the town of Lapel. So the town board is working on ideas of how to put some of that money to use. So we're really grateful for her. We also, last year, Shelby Materials completed a construction of a ready-mix plant on off of State Road 13 in the new annexed area. That is up and running at this time. Let me see. We also applied for grants last year. We have been working with RQAW Engineering, and we obtained a community crossing grant also of $645,000 for paving. In this annexation that we annexed a few years ago, a lot of those county roads are in pretty bad shape. And when your budget is $60,000 a year for a road, that doesn't go very far, especially when you're rebuilding those roads. So we've been very lucky to get those grants. And we are applying now for a new Okra grant for our water and wastewater infrastructure. And like the lady from Frankton said, it's expensive to repair all of that, and a lot of our stuff is really old. And last, I'd like to invite you, every year Lapel has a village fair. Everybody in Lapel calls it the World's Fair. We close off Main Street, and we have food vendors. We have any kind of knickknacks or whatever that you would like to spend your money on. There's quite a few of them there. We have probably 50 or more booths in that area. We have a street dance on Friday night that's open to everybody, and we have a town-wide garage sale. You can, if you don't get run over by a golf cart, searching for some good bargains. Parking is at a minimum, but bring your comfy shoes because there's a lot of walking. But we would like to invite any of you to come to our World's Fair. We have a parade at 3:30 in the afternoon. You might want to bring some earplugs. The sirens get pretty loud. But I have lived in Lapel for about 35 years, and have to say it's a pretty nice little community. We've got a lot of new homes being built there, new construction coming in. So come visit us anytime you can. Thank you.
I'm in my 8th year as the Clerk-Treasurer for the town of Chesterfield. Chesterfield has been working diligently moving forward to develop a community where people want to come and live. We're a small community with a population of approximately 2,500 people. In the last 3 years, our town council has focused on the residents and programs that target those who live there. Our center of the community is our government center, aka Mill Creek Civic Center. We've made an effort to update our center over the last several years and appreciate the help that has been extended from the Madison County Council and Council of Governments. Our gym floor, heating and air throughout our facility, resurfacing the floors, and updates in lighting, painting are just a few of the many renovations we've done. We have a variety of programs that we offer. We have a gym that people can work out in. Anybody over 60 can come for free. Your family membership is $35, and a single person can get one for $24. So it's very cost effective. It does have limited hours, but we see a lot of activity there. We have karate lessons, Zumba classes, and we offer a free monthly bingo. Last night was our monthly bingo, and I get gift cards as the prizes, and I make it family fun. And we had a lot of new people last night, but they get a $10 gift card to Dairy Queen. Now I go and get these every month. We have 12 games. It lasts about an hour and 15 minutes. And when I went to purchase the gift cards last night, David Sweet said, "Are these for your bingo?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, I'll sponsor that night." So he paid for the bingo. So $10 gift cards, and that was awesome. We also have our annual Easter egg hunt, as well as a breakfast with Santa at the Mill Creek Center. And the town council implemented a senior outreach program, and we currently are proud to say that we have 20 residents that we reach out to each week. We've added a dog park at the Makepeace Park with many renovations to the Walbridge Park and much needed ADA park equipment. Daleville ball teams now partnered with Chesterfield to use the Walbridge Parks through their ball season. We have a food pantry that Union Township residents can visit twice a month, and the pantry serves over 200 families each month. I've been very proactive with the town council, with the town council's blessing, to acquire some properties from the commissioner's sale in need of repair and or cleanup. Acquiring these properties were a first for our community and took some time, as well as asking questions to understand the process and what the community was taking on. We recently received help from Brownsfield in cleaning up a property with tanks that we acquired through the commissioners. The cost to do this is over $165,000, and there's no cost to our town, which is awesome. We were awarded a community crossings grant for over $300,000 last year to do repairs to Plum Street. The hardest part about that, and all of you guys can attest, is $300,000 and only takes care of one street, not even the whole street. Taxpayers don't understand that. We hope to apply soon for another one. We also applied for an IPEP grant, and there was another community, Alexandria, that received money. So we're the only two in Madison County. Our most recent project is our splash pad, which should be completed in early spring. We've made many amenities to the pad, and we'll do additional things once we get it in. Our Chesterfield Police Department is one of a kind. They continue to be proactive in our community and keep our residents safe. In the summer months, you may find an officer on duty hanging out with kids shooting hoops. I, for one, feel like we have a community that is safe to walk in after dark or ride my golf cart. Over the last 3 years, we've had several ribbon cuttings for new businesses that have come to town. A few of those businesses range from a Mexican restaurant, an exotic bird store, a tatting store, reopening of the Chesterfield Legion, post 408, the Chesterfield Pantry, a resale store, as well as a fencing company. The one that's dear to me the most, we were thrilled when Madison County Habitat for Humanity decided, I think I saw Kelly in here. Hi, Kelly. When they decided to make Chesterfield their home for their retail store. The Habitat store took a location that had become an eyesore and turned it into one of the busiest areas for the weekends. When they came to town and we began having conversation with the manager, Jim Worley, the town made a decision to donate a property to Habitat to build their first home in Chesterfield. The home was completed last fall. I, for one, was amazed at how many hands were used to complete this project, and we look forward to working with Habitat in the future. We're coming up on our annual 4th of July festivities, where we'll see over 4,000 people visit one of the most popular parades in Madison County, right here in Chesterfield. The day begins with a 5K, 10K run, pancake breakfast, and our parade, followed by a festival at Makepeace Park. In closing, Chesterfield offers that small town warm and fuzzy feeling where you feel safe in your homes and community. But you're able to leave and be in Muncie, Anderson, Indy within minutes. We have fewer empty buildings, more businesses, and continue to look for ways to fill the spots we do have that are empty. Spring and summer brings out the best times in Chesterfield when many are out driving around in golf carts, which golf carts are getting popular everywhere, but we've been there a long time. We even have a golf cart club. Visiting with your neighbors, walking to the parks, Civic Center to work out, a trip to Dairy Queen. We have one of the best Dairy Queens around. I know most of you will agree. And we'll soon have a splash pad to visit. As you can see, we have a lot of pride in our community, and we love Chesterfield. Thank you.
I promise it won't be the 90-minute like Dirk promised you, but you know, it is what it is. Pendleton strives to be intentional. Pendleton isn't like other towns. They have people, the people have found a way to embrace our town's historic roots without getting stuck in the past. We celebrate our town's heritage, yet work to ensure that our best days are still ahead of us. Simply put, we are comfortable in our own skin. This was from our new branding process that we just went through. I was going to do a PowerPoint, but Patty told me I couldn't, so there's nice photos that go along with these slides. Being intentional, reason number one, we're revamping out our front door. NDOT's constructing roundabouts at the exit 219 on both sides, doing away with the stoplight. We partnered with NDOT, and we're going to build a pedestrian bridge over the interstate to make the intersection making intersection improvements at the business park entrances, along with the third roundabout. This was a $3.5 million project investment by NDOT. Madison County Council of Governments furnished $3 million, a total of $6.5 million, and Pendleton's share of that was only $600,000. So, but working together as partners and things, we're able to stretch our dollars. We're reinvesting in the downtown. In 2018, we received the Okra Main Street Revitalization Plan grant. We redid 5 facades that are just finishing up. There's a couple more windows to go. That was a $687,775 investment. We also received another grant that we're going to be able to redo part of our town hall facade. That'll be a $120,000 investment, so that's a total of $775,000 investment just in downtown building facades. Reason number 3, we're improving our infrastructure. Like all the other communities around, we received community crossing funds. That is a big help. There's, you know, I think that speaks for itself, the fact that the state's doing that. They need to step it up a little bit because it doesn't repair the roads as fast as the winter tears them up. So, invested $3.4 million in a new drinking water treatment facility. We're also updating the infrastructure on the water lines. A lot of these were 1938 WPA projects, and they're starting to get old and getting leaks here and there. We invested $1 million in our metering upgrades for electric customers. Now it's all electronic. It sends them in, readings in automatically like per every hour or so. And we're investing $1.3 million in a Heritage Way Road Extension project in the Falls Point Business Park. Number 4, we're focused on health and wellness and recreation. We completed our first bicycle pedestrian master plan in 2017. This year, the Falls Park Board is updating the 5-year park and recreation master plan. And Clips Card Athletic Facilities, in partnership with Community Sports and Wellness, are investing $14 million in a sports and wellness center in the Falls Park Business Park. So with all this construction out west, with the roads, the roundabouts, the wellness center, you probably won't be able to get through town. So you come in from the east, you're stuck. You're going to stay here, so, which is okay. There's some great restaurants. We're planning for our future, our present and our future. New comprehensive plan was adopted in 2018. Our Unified Development Ordinance update is in the progress, as well as our thoroughfare plan is updating the progress. We're welcoming new families to Pendleton. I think Tim really explained this really well at the beginning. The growth's coming right up the interstate at us. It's going to bring a lot of people, but also it's going to bring a lot of competition, so we have to be prepared for all of it. Since January 1st, we've issued over $1 million in improvement permits. We have 2 multifamily residential projects in the past 2 years with 54 total units. There's a new subdivision being constructed with 55 lots. Pendleton subdivision's preparing for phase 3, which is a Mustin project. And Westport Homes is in the process of rezoning an agricultural parcel to single family. And that's going to be about approximately 250 more additional housing units in town. Before Dirk calls me out, I want to mention the Pendleton Heights Arabians, my grandparents, my mom, my kids, town council. Anybody else, Dirk? All right. And without all the organizations in the community, like the chamber, yeah, my mind just went blank, but thanks. The Visitors Bureau, the foundations we have and things like that, we would not be able to survive as a community, and I think it's really important we recognize and thank them people. Just so you know, we have 18 festival permits already issued in town. There will be at least 10 or 15 more. I'm not going to go through them all, but make sure you get into Pendleton's. Thank you.
One of the things I'd love to share about Alexandria is its people. The people that make up Alexandria are loving, caring, giving. They're always willing to step up and help someone in need. And that's really the personality of our community day in and day out. The things I'm going to talk about here are some things that we've done and some things we're looking at doing. And as everyone knows, these things take a lot of people. It takes your council, it takes your clerk-treasurer, your board of works, and even some help with your businesses within the community. So we're going to start off with the mercantile. That was an investment of $8 million. The building that was rehabbed was formerly Cox's Supermarket, was in our community for a long, long time. And we were fortunate to get some grants and work with Milestone Ventures. It is a mixed-use apartment and grocery store with 26 apartments, an 18,000 square foot modern grocery store called Horner's Midtown Market. The Horner family are butchers by trade. They're from Marion, Indiana. So if you want some really high quality meat, check out Horner's Midtown Market. This project was also the first of its like in Indiana. The state of Indiana awarded winning project by the IHCDA in excellence in affordable housing for 2018. We've been working quite a bit with NDOT, like everybody else, on street improvements. Washington Street Phase 2, the completion of it was $1.3 million. Washington Street Phase 3 and 4 and 5, which are on the books now to be done, is a $3.8 million investment in the community. Okra Awards, the master utility plan was $45,000. Stormwater improvements, everybody's talking about stormwater and separation of wastewater and stormwater, and we're in that boat as well with everybody. We currently have a plan that we're working on with IDEM. We were awarded $600,000 in the separation of stormwater and wastewater, and that total project is $900,000. The application process for the wastewater improvement grant requesting $700,000 for the project totaling $1.3 million. The blight elimination program, our economic development director has done a wonderful job. Warren Brown has really stayed on top of this. With IHCDA, we were awarded $398,000, removing 27 blighted homes in our community. Some of those lots were sold to adjoining property owners and were put back on the tax rolls, and we actually have one right now that a local contractor built a brand new home on it, and it is for sale, and they're going to have an open house on Sunday. He also has a lot that he bought next there. It was another blighted property, and as soon as they sell this house, they'll be building a second home there as well. We've also completed our ADA plan to ensure that Alexandria is welcoming to all residents. On the LTCP, modernizing the city long-term control plan to incorporate green technology and bringing to the city into compliance. Our long-term control plan, it has been on the books for quite a few years, and we've done a lot of work for the last 3 years to really push things forward in working with IDEM and many consultants. Also moving into our community was two community health centers. We're happy to have Jane Pauley Center on Washington Street and the Madison County Health Clinic, which recently has been purchased and renamed Meridian Health Services Madison County. They moved into our downtown area, and that was an investment of about $1 million. Our school system, we have a great school system. I can say now, go Tigers. Our boys basketball team just won their first sectional in many, many years, and we're proud of them for that. But our school system is top notch, and we're very excited that they passed a $19.2 million referendum to upgrade the Alexandria schools, improve education services to the students for Alexandria and Monroe Township. Rickers and Dollar General invested in Alexandria $2 million. Rickers seen the need to increase their building and their services, so they bought property within the county that adjoined their property at 9 and 28. Then that property was annexed into the city, and they built a new building and also added the large truck pumps for the farmers and the semi-drivers. On Indiana Brownfields, we're currently in the process working on that. We have 2 gas stations that are under construction there. Our Alexandria Business Park, this is the one that you probably heard about before. It's 473 acres. It's located on the northeast corner of Alexandria. They're at 9 and 28 behind the NDOT building, and runs out to Summitville Road or 100 East, and then down to 1300 North, which puts it right across the street from one of our good neighbors, Poet. That site is McCollum Sweeney shovel ready, ANTT fiber ready, certifications, North Fork and Southern Prime, over 150 inquiries to date, 10 with site visits. So we know that it's just a matter of time before we land our first business there. The business park can house 3 facilities the size of Nestle, if you can picture that. Securing funding to continue to develop water. One of the things we've learned along the way is there may be some large water volume users. So we're trying to locate more water aquifers so we can supply that water demand to that park. I'd like to thank Rob and Tanya from the CED for all their help in promoting that park. Warren Brown as well. We recently also annexed Poet into the city last year, which they have been great neighbors as well. So with all those investments, it's been $121 million over the last couple of years invested in Alexandria to move it forward. We invite you to come and visit us in Alexandria, check out Horner's Market. We have a beautiful park, and we also host the Madison County 4-H Fair. And if you haven't already seen it, we invite you to go to the WIBP site and watch Now Entering Alexandria. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
People are the key to any foundation. And just like Alexandria and everyone in this room, the city of Elwood have great people. The first thing that we identified was that our uptown business district needed some investment. We currently partnered with the Madison County Council and was awarded $250,000 for uptown revitalization. To date, 14 facades have been completed in our uptown business district. With the help of the Madison County Community Foundation, we also instilled a community garden where once sat a blighted property. We've installed LED signs at our municipal building, and we've also installed wayfinding signage to navigate our uptown business district. In addition to the investments that we have made, New Hope Services has came and done a $10 million senior living facility that is going to be housed in the R.L. Leeson's building. In addition to their investment in the Uptown Business District, 23 more units will be built on blight elimination properties. In 2017, I'm happy to say that the city of Elwood opened up the Elwood Golf Links. We opened up the first 9 holes that sat on a closed golf course previously. Now in June of 2019, the city of Elwood will have 18 playable holes with a new pro shop. The whole premise behind opening the golf course was to develop a residential development area that has been underutilized. It's very exciting that I can announce that there has been $25 million investment, the largest residential development in the history of Elwood, that is taking place currently in our great city. There are single-family homes, garden apartments, traditional apartments, and senior living for 55 and up. There's a clubhouse, a fitness center, a playground, and obviously the golf course. In 2016, the average cost of a home in the city of Elwood was $73,392. I'm happy to say that that cost has now risen from 2018 to $84,101. The city is home to Red Gold and Elsa. We were able to see job creation in 2017 of 466 new jobs and 447 new jobs in 2018. That's a total of 913 new jobs in our community in just 2 years. In 2016, the unemployment rate for the city of Elwood was 6%. That has now been lowered to 3.8. To further strengthen our job creation, we have continued a partnership with Heinz Career Center, CED, Red Gold, and we are working on establishing a new innovative technology center on the corner of 28 and 37 that is with the utilization of wind farm money funds. Just like most of the communities that have spoke before me, the Community Crossings Grant has been a huge, huge asset to our community. In 2019, we will receive $1 million invested into the infrastructure of the city of Elwood. Blight elimination has also been a key in stabilizing neighborhood properties. We have torn down 37 properties that were approved by the state. While we were under budget by $200,000, the state said that we could turn around and do 12 more properties. So in addition to the 37 we have done, there'll be 12 more in 2019, and then we have personally funded with our redevelopment commission and our street department an additional 7 properties. I highly encourage you to come visit the city of Elwood, experience the positive change that we have witnessed, and riding into positive momentum. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm proud to be here. I want to also thank Dirk and Patty and Carlene for all they do with the chamber and their staff. We work very closely with the chamber, as you probably know. If you have a chance to watch Anderson television from time to time, and they're here today, and I appreciate their being here and filming this, and it'll be replayed, of course, for your pleasure in case you missed some of this today. We get with these guys a lot to do ribbon cuttings. We probably do 25, 30 or so at least a year with Dirk and their team and all the ambassadors. And it's really great to see all these brand new businesses coming into the communities that serve us, and we certainly appreciate their coming. You know, the city of Anderson's been very fortunate over the last 2 or 3 years to bring in a lot of investment into the community, particularly with regards to bringing new jobs and new tax dollars and helping us to expand our tax base, which helps keep our taxes in check, but also allows us to do some infrastructure and some good things for the community using those additional tax dollars. We've also added approximately 1,000 jobs into the community over the last 2.5 years. About $311 million in investment coming in from these private companies, and that's all a great thing, but we need to make sure that folks can get these jobs. And as been talked about here a couple of times, we're fortunate in the area to have relatively low unemployment numbers, but the reality is there's still folks out there that are either unemployed or underemployed. And so we've been working with a new program that we developed at the end of last year and the first of this year, and it went online on April 1st, and we call it the AMP program. Which is an Anderson Advanced Manufacturing Program. And what we do is we identify individuals who are interested in trying to get an advanced manufacturing job. We run them through this 16-week program. And at the end, we work in partnership with several people. And in the end, we try to get them then employed with some of our new manufacturers. Folks that are currently partnering with us are NTN, NTK, Red Gold up in Elwood, also Surmax here in Anderson as well. And we work with our folks at Purdue University, with JobSource, and with, of course, the City of Anderson, and all coming together, we are able to make this available for folks, and we are right now in the middle of our first class going through this. And I just talked to some of the folks yesterday that are in part of the training, and they're telling me that the folks that are involved in this are super excited. I'm talking about I'm going to use the word students, even though some of them are, they're not kids. Some of them are younger, some of them are in their 30s, but they are very excited about these opportunities. But what we're trying to do is obviously get folks in our community employed in these new opportunity jobs that are available. And we're really excited. It looks like it's working. It's a test model right now. We've had other partners that have approached us and for wanting to get involved. We just actually took on a new partner the other day that's going to bring an additional $80,000 into the program. So we're very excited about that. So again, that goes back though to workforce development. We also, like many of the communities, have been able to use blight elimination funds to be able to take down a lot of blighted properties. If you've driven through Anderson, I know you've seen a lot of the properties come down. We've taken down over 136 properties at this point, and we plan to take down another 50 yet this year. And when we do that, we clear off the land similar to the other cities, and then we work to get that property back on the tax rolls by putting it back into the hands of maybe an adjacent owner or even to a nonprofit like Habitat, who might build a home there and then put it back again into the hands of someone to live there in single family residence. It's been a very successful program. Unfortunately, those funds will be ending at the end of 2019, but we've already been making arrangements to have additional funding from other sources so we can continue the program into next year and beyond, because it's absolutely necessary that we continue to clean up those neighborhoods, and we're proud of the hard work that's went forward so far in that, and we're not going to stop doing that. We have a lot of things going on also in Anderson in regards to our downtown area. We have a lot of excitement, and what's really neat about it is the folks, the people that are coming in, particularly the young individuals who come in and are investing into our community. We've been very fortunate to, like I said a moment ago, one of the towns that had a brewery come in. We're getting ready to do a ribbon cutting at the end of this month for a new brewery called Creatures of Habit right downtown on Meridian Street. We also have recently had open up in the last year or so, Oakley Brothers downtown, also it's a distillery. We've had a new Japanese restaurant open downtown as well, Farm Society, Kettle Top, and of course you're probably familiar with the skating rink that we brought downtown during the Christmas season, and we've purchased that, and so that'll be a fixture, which is important to us because we want to make sure the kids, as they grow up in the community, have something in memory that they remember. We have Santa House down there, kids will come down, they'll do that, they'll skate, and at the end of last year, we had an event over at Paramount, and so people were coming out of the Paramount watching, Christmas performances, and right across the street, everybody was skating, and it looked like a Hallmark Christmas card, and it was great. So we're very proud of what's happening in downtown Anderson. We have a lot of investment going on. We have 2 new apartment complexes that are being rehabbed. The old tower apartments is going to be newly refurbished, and the Beverly Terrace as well. Of course, as we move on into the season, we're also going to have, just coming up soon, Anderson Symphony is going to be downtown at Paramount. We're so proud of what's happening there because, again, that's just a center part of our community down there at the theater. We're also going to be having later on this month Arborfest on April 27th. Also, we're going to have the annual Mayor's Cup. This time it's going to be downtown. Last couple of times they had it out at the mall because of the bridge construction going on, but this year they're going to bring it back, and we cleared it with the county, and it'll be fine to have it there. So you ought to come down and check that out. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people come in and from outside the area to participate in that. Also, we're going to be having on May 7th the cruise-in, beginning every Tuesday on Meridian, where folks bring old antique cars in and hang out and visit some of those businesses we've just been talking about. We're also going to have we've expanded our concert series this year down at Dickman Park. We're in the process of rehabbing Dickman this year, but also we're going to increase the number of concerts. It's going to start on June 7th downtown, and it's going to run until September 13th. So if you ever haven't been down to Dickman Park and checked out the concert in the early evening hours, you ought to do that. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people have a good time, and we have some really good bands coming this year. We're going to continue on with our summer program. We've expanded our summer program to have 4 different venues for kids as they get out of school, don't have anything to do. They come out to these 4 different venues. We work and partner with the schools, also with churches, and then also with our own Gator Center. And we have, again, 4 venues for kids to come there for free and do a lot of activities and field trips and some learning experiences. Also on June 1st this year, we're going to have Anderson on Tap. If you haven't been down there and checked that out, you definitely want to do that. We bring in about 27 different breweries from around the state and the area, and they come down, and for a fee, it's all roped off, you come in, you get a test and sample, and it was actually that type of excitement that caused these other companies to come and decide to actually start a brewery here. And so it's really neat to see. You need to check that out. We'll also have our July 3rd parade. As Chesterfield said, they do a great parade on the 4th. We have one the day before on the 3rd, and then also we do our fireworks on the 3rd as well. You want to come down and check that out. It'll also include a concert as well this year. We continue to do a lot of work in our parks to try to continue with a strong quality of life in the community. We have rehabbed 12 parks in the last 2 years. Like I said, we're getting ready to do Dickman again. We're going to redo the shelter house out of Shady Side. We're going to put a new restroom at Shady Side. We've got another restroom going up at Street Park. We're repaving the trails. We have that 2/3 completed at this point. We're going to finish the paving on that this year. As far as paving goes, like everyone said, we're all interested in getting back onto the streets now that the weather's finally clearing. Like the other communities, we were fortunate to get also community crossing money, and that's a competitive grant if you don't know that. Not everybody gets that, and unfortunately there's not enough money to go around, so we have to apply. And so kudos and congratulations to all the communities that got that, because it just doesn't unfortunately fall off the tree. We were able to get $1 million at the end of last year that we're going to use this year, and then we got another $1 million the other day. And so we're going to be using those $2 million, plus that's a 50-50 match. We put in our own funds against that as well to do $4 million in paving. And then we're also going to use additional funds that we just recently got from our redevelopment commission to do some major paving on MLK and also on 73rd Street. So at the end of the day, we're going to have about $10 million this year. We've been doing paving every year, but this is going to be a crazy amount of paving. And then we're fortunate, all of us here in the county, to have the state of Indiana coming through and doing State Road 32, which will be a good blessing too once that gets done, and obviously they get to pay for that. So I just want to say again, I appreciate being here and the opportunity. I appreciate working with Dirk and so many of you that I see around the room, so many of the nonprofits. I think that's what makes Madison County such a great place. It is the people, not just in our individual communities, but working together. I know that in the past, we were just the other day, Sally DeVoe and Dirk and I were down in Indianapolis testifying on a bill to make sure that Hoosier Park was protected in the interest of the economic well-being of this facility, which also is a great entertainment venue and a place for folks to come and visit. So we've worked hard together. We've in the past traveled together to work with the county on the Tiger Grant to get the money for the bridge. And it's because we all work together that we do so well. So congratulations to all of you. Congratulations, Dirk, again, for everything that you do for the chamber. Thank you.
Good afternoon. When the board tasked Dirk and the team with bringing together an event to help unify the county, bring us back together, it's certainly something we haven't done in a long time. We knew we had a big challenge we laid on their plate, but they're a great team, and I think as we look around today, we see the results of that hard work. So a big round of applause one more time for the chamber and the hard work they did to make this happen. Thank you all. When I hear the speakers today, there's been so much great information, and it reinforces to me that while Madison County is all woven in the same cloth, each community, each town, each city has their own flavor, their own texture, their own color that makes them all unique and gives them unique character. And while we have that uniqueness that makes great destinations, we have a lot in common also. And I think we see that from the turnout today, which really encourages me for the future. And I guess my one charter that I would put forward to all of us is that let's not let this just be a day and time that we get together and talk about this. Let's use this as a moment to start a new movement going forward, where we work more closely together, where we look at each other's needs and our strengths and weaknesses and help to reinforce those together. Because there's so much positive energy going on in this room and in our cities and towns that it's a shame when we part ways and we don't get together more often and don't understand each other as well as we could. So my charter to us is, if you have connections to make, if you have ideas that you can bring to the table to help us all grow together, please reach out to the chamber. We'll be happy to help make those connections and foster those relationships, and we want nothing more than to do that. So thank you all for coming. It's been a great event. Go out and continue the great work and have a great day. Thank you.